45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 358. Today is January 17th, 2024. I'm your host, T-Rock, and joining me as always is our NBA guru, my partner in crime, Elvis Acosta E. How's it going today, kid?
Still, besides it being freezing out, we're doing great. Very light day today at work. Barely did anything. So I'm just glad I spent most of the day at home, Dill, not outside in this freezing temperature.
Now, is it usually the slow season for your job while during the winter?
I ain't gonna hold you. When it's days like this, your boy's not looking to work, and luckily my boss, he also fears the cold. Yeah. So he doesn't like working on days like this either. So
yeah, I'll tell you this: working in the beverage industry on the side, I going through Manhattan with the tall buildings and the wind. Whew, it was miserable today. But been a past couple days actually here on the East Coast. Been freezing. We got some snow over the weekend. Not the weekend, actually on Monday and Tuesday. So we're doing all right here. Hopefully it warms up a little bit. But we got a great show for you guys today. We'll recap Wild Card Weekend, winners, the losers. We'll preview Divisional Round. I will be live at the bank on Saturday. Elvis, will you be there? I've heard whispers that you might come.
Dylan, we're going to be there. Most likely 95%. 95% sure we're gonna be there. Me and my boy Marky Mark will be there. Vivad up.
Let's fucking go. We got a 10-game NBA slate today. Got a big trade in the NBA we'll discuss in a little. But Elvis, no better way to start. We'll recap Wild Card Weekend. We will start in order with the first game, Saturday afternoon. Oof. And boy, did CJ Stroud prove himself, man. We knew Joe Flacco was going to throw a pick or two. But even though he threw the pick six and he threw the 2 interceptions, they were still going to lose this game. The defense didn't play well at all. CJ Stroud had a fantastic game, 16 for 21, 274 yards. Singletary ran the ball well. Nico Collins, just an absolute beast. Brandon Jordan got into it with a nice 76-yard touchdown as well. I mean, this team is dealing with so much injuries, but to overcome it, from a 4-win team to going and playing on the road, the number 1 seed. What can you say about this Texans team first?
Dill, first of all, I'm just complete shocked at, the 1-year turnaround, Dill, to be honest. We saw them in the draft, go big or go home. They went after CJ. They traded right back into the top 5 and got Will Anderson, Dill. Yep. And it's, to be honest, they slapped it out of the park, Dill. Look at them. We're talking about the Houston Texans being in the divisional round after just having the 2nd overall pick less than a year ago, people. About 10 months ago, they had the 2nd overall pick. I think the over under in wins was what, 4.5, 5.5?
It was like 5.5
for this season. This team is in the divisional round, ready to make another upset, Dill. Yeah. Let's just talk about the game for a little bit, Dill. At the end there, give Joe Flacco his flowers. From a man who just came off the couch to lead the Browns, who when they're completely dead in the water after the Sean injury, led him to a playoff, run. And I think that was magical, Dill. But, we knew, like you said, we knew he was going to throw a pick or two, but to throw, a pick six, the way the game was going, Dill, it was just a killer, Give credit to Cleveland for making it this far, Dill. But like you said, CJ Stroud, man, you want to say, this is arguably one of the best rookie performances we've seen in a playoff debut. We're going to talk about somebody else in just a few minutes, Dill. But CJ Stroud, I think, what he did probably overcame this just because the environment level, CJ was at home and whatnot. But CJ Stroud was just flat out special. Even, Dill, I guarantee, Dill, the front office of Houston did not expect this from CJ. No. He already exceeded all expectations. The fact that he got a playoff win in such a dominant way where he looked like clear-cut the best quarterback / player on the field. Just at this young age, though, it's just impressive to me. Like you say, Devin Singletary had a good game. Jordan had that one catch. Nico Collins, he keeps stepping up ever since the injuries occurred. And it was, to me personally, Dill, it was exciting to see John Michie the third get a few balls, Dill. So it just shows that this team is deep, even with key injuries on the outside. Dalton Schultz, he barely got any action, Dill. So I just like the fact that Texans took care of business on both sides of the ball, Dill. And that's really what it was.
If you didn't really follow the NFL and you turned on this game for the first NFL game you watched all season, you would think the Texans had the better defense. The way they were flying around early in the game, they were coming sideline to sideline, getting pressure on Joe Flacco. And I know he threw those 2 picks, but he did throw for over 300 yards at the end of the day. David Njoku had a big game. He cashes the over for us, but their defense, they were getting pressure. There was nothing Joe Flacco could do. And he's up there in age. He doesn't have the mobility as some of these young guys, but I mean, it was just from start to finish. They were not taking their foot off the gas, and it pressured Joe Flacco to throw some bad balls.
Yeah, we saw, I forgot the offensive tackle's name, but we saw him go down in the first quarter with an injury. And then from right there and there, the pressure just kept coming all night long. Like I say, give Joe Flacco credit. At the end of the day, didn't go out strong, but he led him to a playoff run. And like I said, both sides of the football, Texas just dominated both sides. Defensively, shut down the Browns, and then offensively, CJ Stroud damn near had a perfect rating.
Remember the play? I think it was late in the game, maybe early third quarter, early fourth quarter. They bring blitz up the front with the Browns, and CJ he makes the baseball spin off his back foot and finds, I think it was Nico Collins, just threw it up. I said, I'm speechless. At a certain point, he is so calm. He's so collective, and I really think, and I'm not just saying that because I'm an Ohio State fan, but playing in a big time program like that in front of 100,000 people, really playing at a big time program, he's made for moments like this, stepping up in the playoffs, taking the organization to that next level. I mean, their expectations were kind of big, but not this big. Yeah. I think this is a win on the season. Even if they do go out next week to the Ravens, they won. They did what they were supposed to do this season.
Yeah, and let's not forget, he had that overthrow as well, where he would have put up another 60 yards on that throw and another touchdown. Just overthrew him a little bit. So it just shows you that he was making the right reads and the right decisions all night.
Now, moving forward till next season, I mean, still with the Browns, good season, 11-6. They make the playoffs after all those injuries. Deshaun Watson going out, Nick Chubb going out, all those offensive linemen. Defensively, they had some injuries as well. Moving forward, Joe Flacco deserves to be the backup. I think he's earned that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely knows the offense. Stefanski, he ain't going nowhere anytime soon. So I will give Joe Flacco, him and his agent, a call and be like, hey, let's work out a number. We're gonna take care of you, but let's get a 1 or 2 year deal done, because we like the success you had, and Deshaun happens to go out 2 to 4 weeks, we know you can win at least 2 or 3 games and handle business. So definitely, at the end of the day, though, he might just want to hang him up. So it all depends on what he want to do. He was in his couch already. Maybe he misses it. Hell, maybe he just wants to come back, play with the boys again.
Yeah, but he's definitely showed us he can play.
He can definitely still play. Yes.
I mean, they don't have a first round draft pick. It's going to Houston. It was the 23rd pick. But what do they have to improve on? Do you think they need to go offensive line? Do you think they need another weapon aside of Amari Cooper? I think David Njoku's really developed into a nice tight end. They have a good running back room. Or do they go defense? Maybe corner. What do you think they do moving forward?
Still, I say, straighten up your strengths. So I would say get a nice safety or corner to, secure that secondary. At the end of the day, though, you're in a division with some killers in Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. So I think you definitely need to load up, get somebody in the safety, and if not, add a weapon to Amari Cooper. It all depends how the board falls. If you got somebody projected, top 10, they fall to you at 23. You might as well snag them up. So it all depends how the board falls. But, if you have a top 15, top 10 rated player falls down at 23, you might as well just take them right then and there.
Yeah, they do have some free agents. Obviously, obviously Joe Flacco, Jakeem Grant, Michael Ford, Marquise Godwin, Shelby Harris, Kareem Hunt. So they got some guys. Zadarius Smith, defensive end. He's a really big piece.
Good.
So they got some players they need to keep. But yeah, I definitely think they need to go defense, if I'm being honest. And then maybe get somewhere next to Amari Cooper.
Hey, if you could swing and hit a home run like the Rams did with Nakua in the 5th round, they'll be set.
Yeah. The second game, another blowout. It was very unfortunate. Most of these games, besides Sunday night, were a blowout. But the other blowout, Kansas City Chiefs take care of the Dolphins, 26-7. Thoughts? Excuse me. Thoughts on this game?
Still, this one went exactly how I'm pretty sure me and you were both on the same side. I'm not sure, but I laid the 4.5 with the Chiefs. So I expected this game to go like this, just because, like I said earlier, for a few weeks now, the Dolphins haven't really beat anybody above 500. You expect them to wake up out of nowhere in negative degrees temperature and beat the defending champs in Arrowhead? It wasn't gonna happen, Dill. To be honest, so it was some good things I saw from Kansas City. No drop passes. That's one.
I mean, we know Travis Kelce dropped a few.
Yeah, but Travis don't count. We could let Travis rock, but when these wide receivers are dropping balls, still, that's when the issues really start. So, like I said, Pacheco had himself a huge game. It was Rasheed Rice, man. These rookies, man, these playoff rookies debuts were just special, to be honest. Rasheed Rice with a touchdown over 130 on the yard. Travis Kelce finally woke up, had a good game over 70 on the yard deal. So at the end of the day, we know Speed Spagnuolo was gonna blitz the hell out of Tua, and to be honest, Tua looked very pedestrian out there. He looked like
can't play in the cold. It's that simple. It really is.
It might just be that. Like I said, he didn't look good. He kind of looked like he did against Baltimore at the bank. So, it's a shame.
But to be fair, to jump in, they couldn't do anything. No, they couldn't run the ball. Besides, I think they had a couple all right plays. Tyreek held that one big
the touchdown.
The touchdown. That's it. They didn't really do anything.
Yeah, Dill, they couldn't. I'm telling you, my man Speed Spagnuolo was really dicing them up, Dill. Like I said, this for the first time ever, Kansas City can rely on their defense. I want to say it's a defensive-led team. All I'm saying is, Patty Mahomes didn't have to throw for 5,000 yards, 45 touchdowns. His defense is going to hold it down for him. He could either need to throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns a game. Look what the defense has held, the highest scoring offense in the league, 7 points. So if that defense could do anything similar to this against Buffalo next week, Kansas City might find their way right back to the AFC Championship game.
This is the best game I've seen the Kansas City Chiefs play in quite a while, and I'm so glad. And I'm so glad they came out not running the ball. They came out throwing. They said, "We're not fucking scared of this cold. We're gonna throw it." I was telling you a few weeks back when I took his prop, Rasheed Rice. He has really developed into their number one receiver. Travis Kelce, he had a good game. He could have had even over 100. He dropped like 3 balls, if I'm being honest, but I'll give him a pass. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But
and it was like -8 degrees.
But Rasheed Rice caught him. He didn't drop any.
He's like that.
And Isaiah Pacheco, man, he's from
Jersey. He's
from
Jersey.
Much aggression. I love it. I thought honestly, it was one of the most complete games I saw from both sides of the ball. Special teams, offense, defense. Andy Reid called a really good game. I was very impressed from the Kansas City Chiefs. Now we will finally see how they play on the road. First time in his career. But do you know how many playoff wins Patty Mahomes have?
He's been league 5-6 years? I'm gonna say been to 2 Super Bowls. He's the number 1 seed or 2 seed every year. So I'm gonna say 12.
He is 12-3.
I almost said 13, but I was like, nah.
12-13 since 2009. It's insane. It kind of reminds me, unfortunately, of the Patriots. Really not always having the best receiver, but you got the best quarterback. You got the coach. You got special teams. The defense is always around the top 5, top 10. But you could always just pencil them in to the AFC Championship. We'll see. They have a big test this week, but I mean, that's incredible. 12-3, don't you think?
Still, to be honest, Patty Mahomes. I'm pretty sure he only lost to Brady twice in Burrow. Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
He lost to straight greatness. Brady in the 2018 AFC Championship game
2019.
in overtime. By the
Yeah.
way,
You saw that game?
yeah, of course. I wasn't there. It was in Arrowhead, but I saw it.
Then he lost to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, remember Burkhead got the walk-off handoff touchdown in overtime, and then lost in the Super Bowl against the Tampa, and then
Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2022, the AFC Championship. He still threw for almost 300 yards that game. So
it wasn't his fault.
No, it's not his fault, but I was just actually very impressed. Now, thoughts on Taylor Swift in the box wagon and surfing? I heard a lot of outrage. A lot of people weren't happy.
To be honest, who cares? Shout out Taylor. I like, to be honest, one thing I can honestly say, I like the fact that she had the Travis Kelce coat on. I feel like that was pretty cool. Well, other than that, she's just having a good time supporting her man with his mom and Patty's girl and whatnot. So I don't know why people make it such a big deal. It's just, I guess, it's a hot conversation. But to be honest, let the girl be, bro. She's just enjoying her time, being a fan of the game. Be thankful Taylor's being a fan of the games. They're bringing the ratings up. More money, more problems.
Yeah, 100%. And you know who made her the coat too? Kyle Juszczyk's, the fullback for the 49ers, his wife, Kristen Juszczyk. And you know where she went to school?
I'm a gut. Where did Juszczyk went to school? I'll be honest.
Now I'll give you a hint. Where did Kyle Juszczyk used to play?
San Francisco.
But no, before he went to San Francisco.
I have no idea.
She went to Towson University, and she met him when he was playing with the Baltimore Ravens. You got to think about the teams that use fullbacks, kid. Only those two teams.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's a Towson alum. Gotta love it. So shout out her. No, I do think it's kind of dope. The jacket was dope, and I just love how mad people get that. She's
yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see why. Like, you're either excited about it or mad about it. Why does it matter? When every time I go to a game, nobody's pissed off or excited about it.
Well, you're also not Taylor Swift.
I know, but come on now.
Let's talk about, I thought I would never say this, the best quarterback all weekend. Dare I say, Jordan fucking Love. I mean, this kid, he's elite. I said it to you. We were watching the game together. I was dead fucking wrong, Elvis. This kid looked amazing. It looked like he's been the veteran in this league, and it looked like Dak was the rookie. I mean, the throws he was making, and the same thing I was saying about CJ Stroud, his calmness, his collectedness, going on the road, taking on the Dallas Cowboys, primetime game, and you go out and ball out over 270 yards, incompleting only 5 passes. I mean, 3 tutties. Aaron Jones, you just live at Jerry World from Texas. He had himself over 100 yards. And Matt LaFleur is a top 5 play caller. I mean, his play calling has gone to the next level. I thought I was watching Aaron Rodgers out there. And I never thought I would say this because I was down on the Packers to begin the year. But holy shit, Jordan Love is elite, kid.
Guys, I'm just shocked how well he played on the road in Dallas. Yeah. For the kid, him and CJ basically put up the same numbers. I think they just had 2 yards apart. Yeah. They both went 16 for 21. Love went for 272. CJ went for 274. Both had 3 touchdowns. Still, though, I'm just shocked how amazing Jordan Love and that offense looked against. It was a top 5 defense, especially in Jerry World with the Dallas Cowboys. Still, and they just went up and down the field. Though when in the first possession, the first drive of the game when they accepted the kickoff on that 3rd down, when Romeo Doubs caught that ball right over the star for that 22-yard gain, I knew right then and there, oh yeah, the Packers are coming to play. They're coming for the throw, and they just marched down the field. And then as soon as they got the 7-0 lead, got the stop deal, Aaron Jones just started eating. It was just the Aaron Jones shows from right then and there, from the 7-0 lead. And then Jordan Love made a couple of throws here and there, and they were just on the money deal. Like you said, LaFleur just call the perfect plays. Like, you had wide receivers wide open.
Wide open.
Romeo Dobbs was over the middle, wide open multiple times. Musgrave hit his head in the goalpost. He was wide open by 30 yards. Yeah. There was nobody around him for 30 yards. Jordan Love lobbed it up in the air 40 feet high off his back foot. And the dude called the safety, turned around, caught the ball, and then turned up the field. That's just unacceptable by Dan Quinn and that defense still. So I was just shocked on how Jordan Love executed the game plan, because they executed to a T. So they had a game plan for this game deal, and they executed at the highest level. Aaron Jones, 3 touchdowns. Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns. The defense, 2 interceptions. Alexander had a bad ankle come in, got it started early with the first quarter interception, and then Savage with the pick 6, reading the defense. Dak was just locked in. As soon as the game was already 7-0, they were down. We knew the Cowboys were gettable, and Dak just looked like deer in headlights. He was being nervous. Mike McCarthy having that pressure from Jerry Jones earlier in the week, saying we're just going to take it game by game with the coaching decision. So I just feel like the Cowboys came out flat. They weren't prepared, and to be simply honest, Coach, they just simply got out coached by Matt LaFleur and this young gun team. Think about it, Dallas is just, I understand, the superstars are young, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, but Stephon Gilmore, he been there, done that. Dak, we give him crap or whatever, but Dak, this is 6th, 7th year now, 8th year. He been there, done that. So this DeMarcus Lawrence, there's enough veterans on this team to not let 27-0 happen. And it happened.
And there's also enough blame to go around, and I'm glad you brought up so many people, because it's not just Mike McCarthy. I do think things need to change. Dan Quinn has to go too. You can't sit there and say, especially at halftime when you got torched in the beginning, and I'm glad you stated this. Romeo Dobbs got open. There wasn't anyone there within 30 yards. Like, he was just untouched. That's just unacceptable. I don't know how you go into halftime and put your foot down as the head coach and say, no, we are not doing this. We're switching to this, or we're pressing that man. Like, we're doing something, because that just can't happen. And Dan Quinn has to go. Now the question to the quarterback, I want to ask you first, because I do think Dak is a good quarterback. I won't say great. He's a good quarterback. He's an above average.
To me, he's a borderline top 10 quarterback. At times top 5, at times 12 to 15, but always throughout the season a top 10-ish.
But when it comes down to it, he doesn't produce in the playoffs. Now the 2 picks, one was a really good read. Jair Alexander, he just jumped the ball with a bad ankle. I'll give it to him. But the other one, you ever watch an interception and before the guy even picks it off, you go, oh, that's a pick 6.
Yeah.
We knew it exactly what was going to happen when he threw it. And you're right. He looked up at the big board and was like, it looked like a deer in headlights. He looked lost out there. And at this point in your career, the face of the organization, especially the Dallas Cowboys, expectations are higher. And I don't know why that is, I guess for past success, but you need to do better. I wouldn't get rid of Dak. I'll let you know. I wouldn't, just because who are you going to replace him with? Who is out there? You're not going to have a good draft pick where you could get one of these top guys. I think for the time being, I would keep Dak, because I do think there are things you can clean up. But I think Mike McCarthy, all he's good for, if you want to say, okay, we're going to go 12-5, win the division every year, then keep Mike McCarthy. But if you want to win Super Bowls and you want to get back to that place where Jimmy Johnson had you guys, Mike McCarthy is not your guy. And I'm not saying that to be mean or a critic to Mike McCarthy, but he's just not the guy. And Dan Quinn has to leave too.
Yeah, I agree with that, just because, how many times are you going to do the same thing again? Give credit. I honestly want to give credit to Mike McCarthy. He had Dak lead the NFL in touchdowns. They were up there in points per game. I think they led the NFL in points per game. Averaged more than 30 points at home. Went 8-0 at home during the regular season. Last 3 seasons, 36 wins combined. Went 12-5 each of the last 3 seasons. So that's impressive at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, that's not going to move the needle. At the end of the day, we know what Jerry Jones wants. He wants another Super Bowl ring ASAP. Not like as soon as possible. He wants another one. He wants to lift one up, because he knows he's getting up there in age still. And to be honest, I just don't see how, Don't get me wrong, Mike McCarthy's a good head coach. He'll get a job, be successful somewhere else. But you had 2 division titles. You had the second overall seed this year. Home playoff game, 7.5 point favorite, and you couldn't get the job done. You couldn't even reach an NFC championship game. But the fact that you lose at home against Green Bay Packers, a rookie quarterback, well, not first year starting quarterback, very young team. Not one wide receiver has been in the league more than 2 years. It's just embarrassing the fact that you not just only lose the game, Dale, you lost. At one point, it was 48-16.
They were up 26 at one point, I thought.
It was 27-0.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much I want to say. Like, I think they need to totally reboot everything. Like, honestly, they had no running game, not just yesterday or 2 days ago. They haven't had a running game all season. We've been on the show talking about no running game. They need a running game. I think everyone besides CeeDee Lamb are all average players.
Micah Parsons.
No, on the offensive side of the ball. We'll start. Like, everyone needs to go. The offensive line, I know they're good and they've had a good history, but they're getting old. And on the defensive side, Micah Parsons, and outside of that, no one else. They're all average players. They need a total reboot. And maybe that's a little dramatic, but like you said, you can't just keep trotting out the same thing and expecting a different outcome. That's literally the definition of insanity, and expecting a different outcome. So I don't know what needs to be done if he does end up getting fired. I think you got to go out and really pursue Bill Belichick. I know he's took in an interview with the Atlanta Falcons, but I think Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones would get along very well. Meaning, we're in win mode right now. I understand your credentials, your history. You have won. I need you to win now. Like, however long you have, 3 years, 5 years, you need to win within that window. And I think Bill will do that. I think Bill could compete with Dak. I think he changed up the defense a little bit. And I think Bill could get him where he wants to be. I don't think Bill also wants to go to like a rebuilding kind of situation. So thoughts on that?
I'll tell you this, Dill. If you give Bill Belichick this same Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to just say this same offense, that's going to give you around 32 to 33 points a game, and Bill Belichick controls the defense, this team is winning Super Bowl. I'm telling you right now, Dill, we saw, especially down the season stretch where, the Patriots was holding teams to under 10 points a game for like 3-4 game stretch. 4-game stretch where, Bill Belichick had every single team under 15 points, under 12 points. If Bill Belichick gets the control of that defense, and it's talent, remember, Trayvon Diggs is coming back next season. There's talent on that team. You got Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Stephon Gilmore, Trayvon Diggs will be back. Still, if Bill Belichick can control that defense and Dak and that offense still gives you 30 points a game, they're going to win the division, win the Super Bowl within 2-3 years.
We'll see, because it's very interesting. I want to see what they do in the offseason, but another very disappointing. And don't you got to love seeing Skip Bayless just epically fail against his trash can? Why doesn't he burn it?
To be honest, though, I personally think he didn't really throw it out.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying burn it. Be a fucking man and burn it. And then I love how the electric trash can kept beating him, and he kept having to force it open. I was dead, but it's always interesting. It's always hilarious to see him and then Stephen A. Smith, because the trolling is just elite, Yeah. Let's go to the best game Sunday night. The only game that was competitive.
Yeah, facts.
The brand new Detroit Lions. They get the job done at home, 24-23. What a fucking game. Both quarterbacks, I thought. Matthew Stafford played amazing. I thought Jared Goff. I'm so happy for Jared Goff too, man. They sent him to Detroit to die, and for him and Dan Campbell to really turn it around and really believe that this is achievable, because, in the beginning it was tough. They were losing still. He said, listen, we're just a few guys away. I believe in you. And this guy, he's so passionate. He makes you and I believe in the Detroit Lions, if I'm being honest. So I don't know. I'm just so, it's like, how it gives me hope as a Jet fan, I'll say, because my team is so bad. How can you not watch the Detroit Lions and be like, this could fucking be us? We could get back to the playoffs and we could win. So I watch the Lions and I'm like, I'm hopeful that my team could turn it around just like they can, because I thought it was an amazing game from them, offensive, defensively, getting stops when they needed to late in the game. And Jared Goff didn't turn the ball over. We said he needs to take care of the ball. He did that. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a good game. Josh Reynolds had a big game as well. They couldn't really run the ball. I know collectively they had an all right game, but defensively, other than Puka Nacua going off, I thought the defense played really well.
Yeah, Dale, give Matthew Stafford credit. He's a baller. He's a gamer. He got rattled a couple
times. Did it not look like he got a concussion?
I'm not going to say
it looked like it.
All I'm going to say is that kid is a baller, Dale. It's playoff football. No need to check him out.
Since Detroit, he's been like that.
Dale, he's a baller, Dale. So you got to give Matthew Stafford credit. 367, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions on the road. Dale, if the Rams had the running game they had all season long, I think they would have won this game, to be honest. The running game was kind of non-existent. Yeah. Williams only 61 yards total on 13 attempts. The kid was basically on a touchdown run the whole season long. I think he had he finished second in the league or third in the league in touchdowns. Couldn't find the end zone in Detroit, Dale. And like you said, I don't know what was up with these rookies with these incredible debuts. CJ, Jordan Love, Nacua, Rice. Dale, these rookies just went off and just set NFL records as rookies debuts, So give credit for Puka Nacua. He tried his hardest to win this game single-handedly. It's just a shame that nobody else really came with him. Tutu Atwell broke away with that touchdown. DeMarcus Robinson had a few catches, but, Cooper Kupp, I took his over. He went under. He doesn't look the same since the injury, Dale. Kind of looked like a shell of himself. And then, like you said, Dale, let's give credit to Detroit. Dan Campbell, always been a real passionate coach, said since day one, we're going to change things, and look what he's doing now. First playoff win, definitely in our lifetime, Dale. And the fact that they get another home playoff game, Dale, is just special for this team. Jared Goff, like you said, getting traded, getting left for dead in Detroit, now having one of his best games, Dale, 22 for 27. I understand he only had one touchdown, but he had 277 over the air, the one TD, not a ton of yards on the ground, but David Montgomery, he did his business. Jahmyr Gibbs even got a touchdown as well. So it was just a great overall win team-wise for the city of Detroit, Campbell, Jared Goff. And like you said, my main concern all season long, well, honestly, week 7 and on, was Detroit's defense. And to be honest, besides Nacua, they shut it down. Yeah. They shut it down besides Nacua. So the fact that Detroit's defense was able to hang in there, secure the victory, Dan Campbell letting it hang late in the game with the fourth down conversion like he always do, Dale. It was just a great storybook for the Detroit Lions. And notice I didn't say storybook ending. Nope. Because I don't think nothing is ending anytime soon.
First playoff win since 1991. You got to feel for not just the players, the whole city of Detroit, man. Like, I'm really happy for them.
Damn near a whole generation. A whole generation.
And you mentioned the defense. They stepped up. Getting C.J. Gardner-Johnson back really helped their secondary. The rookie Brian Branch, he's a fucking safety position. Aiden Hutchinson, he had 2 sacks as well. Jack Campbell was going sideline to sideline. I really thought the defense stepped up well. I'll go out on a limb, and I'm not a doctor, but he was definitely concussed. I mean, this man, his eyes rolled back. I was like, yo. And he just got up and went right back to work. I said, yo, this guy's a fucking beast.
He's a legend.
If one man could do it, it's Matthew fucking Stafford. So, yeah, big win. And now they get to, you know what? And karma's a bitch, Cowboys. You know why? Because they gave you that game when the Lions won that game. And, they were like, oh, well, we're only going to get 1 playoff game now. Now they get 2 home playoff games. So I am actually.
It's only right.
It's only right. So credit to the Detroit Lions. Big fucking win. I'm so happy for them. 24-23. And also the reason I'm happy is we cover +3.5, baby. So we get there with the points. Let's go to Sunday.
Well, Monday.
Yeah. Monday, I forgot. Steelers. They hung around a little more than I thought they were going to do. I thought, Buffalo opened up to that big 21-point lead, and I thought the game was going to be over. But Steelers, they hung around. Mason Rudolph made enough plays. They weren't able to really run the ball. But Pat Freiermuth, he had a pretty good game. Deontay Johnson had a touchdown as well. But Josh Allen and the boys, a little too much. Josh Allen, that huge 52-yard touchdown run. What a beast. A quarterback doing that is ridiculous. Dalton Kincaid, he had the touchdown as well. Heel Shakur had a touchdown. In the defense, I thought they played really well, especially in the first half for the Bills.
Yeah, this game was basically a first half. Good credit for the Steelers for at least fighting back, making it interesting, bringing it back to 24-17. But the game was over in the first half still. Give credit to Josh Allen, that defense, forcing turnovers early and then capitalizing by scoring, Dill. But, on the Josh Allen big run, Dill, one thing I'm going to say is that I didn't like, he stutter-stepped and looked like he was going to slide down, and he didn't. That's the thing I don't like. That's why the rule of, don't hit a quarterback when he's sliding, I don't like none of that. A runner is a runner. As soon as he passes the line of scrimmage and he's running towards the first down or whatever, he's running. He should be treated just like a running back. I want to hear the nonsense. Same way when Kenny Pickett in college faked the slide. Josh Allen, he didn't, I'm going to say he faked the slide, but he started step like he was about to. But
he hit him with the...
No, I know, but all I'm saying is it's not fair because the defender did hesitate like he was going to slide.
He got shooken out of his boots.
Didn't want to, because he didn't want to draw the penalty. You got to watch the film. But at the end of Josh Allen in the Bills just looked impressive defensively. We know they're riddled with injuries on the defensive side of the ball. They looked impressive, turning George Pickens over, Mason Rudolph over. So. Kansas City got their hands full next week. I'll tell you that. Bills is one of the hottest teams since the early December in the league. So I want to see how they look. And Dill, once again, James Cook, he's been running the hell out of the ball, Dill. I understand Josh Allen had the big run and whatnot, but James Cook quietly had himself a great night as well. And to me, what's the most impressive is the fact that they got a dominating win without Stephon Diggs having to do a lot of things. Like you said, Kincaid had a good game. Shakur, Hardy. So the fact that Stephon Diggs didn't have to, imprint his foot on the game to win this comfortably, to me, that's impressive.
Yeah, they're going to have their hands full, but they will be home against Patrick Mahomes. We'll see how Patrick Mahomes plays on his first road game. We'll see there. Now, on the Steelers side, thoughts on Mike Tomlin leaving the presser? I thought the question was fair. I understand it's
right after the game.
I understand, but it's a reporter and she's doing her job. So it's a fair question. And it's also fair that he left. He didn't want to answer it. I think he's deserved that. He's a Hall of Fame coach, but he did come out the next day. He was just like, you know what? Like you said, it just wasn't the right time, but I don't know. I thought the question was fair and I do think he'll be back. You don't think he's going to leave or retire, right?
Dill, all I'm going to say is he has 1 year left. He's kind of in a sticky situation. He kind of doesn't have a quarterback. Kenny Pickett, we could honestly say he's not the guy. And I think they pick, 21st, 22nd, I think?
Right now they're at 20th.
20th. You're not going to land a big-time quarterback at 20th, Dill. So the defense is solid. We know the defense represents them, but we know in this league you can't win without the quarterback. And they simply don't have that guy. So if I'm Mike Tomlin probably looking at it like, I might do what Sean Payton did. Remember, Sean Payton took a year off, went to the booth, came back, got a good job in Denver. Hey, maybe, Mike Tomlin takes a year off, still under contract, takes a year off, and then see what's available in a year from now. Because right now, the NFL coaching market is on fire. You got, Jim Harbaugh, Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel. So there's a lot of star names out there. And to add Mike Tomlin to the mix of things, would just, I want to say, I honestly would say it'll make it more a little complicated because, to be honest, Dill, real quick, just, to ask you a question. If you had to choose right now, if you were an owner, who are you picking, Bill Belichick or Mike Tomlin?
If I'm
or Pete Carroll or Jim Harbaugh. I'm telling you, man.
Mike Vrabel.
Or Mike Vrabel. Me personally, I'm going after Mike or Bill.
So now is this if I'm any owner or am I the Roonies if I'm in charge of the Steelers?
No, you just brought the Panthers. You just brought the Panthers still today.
Well, let's
you
say
need a coach.
David Tepper is so mad he drafted Bryce Young and he didn't get CJ
Yeah.
Stroud. If I was the Panthers and I was David Tepper and I was
No,
on the
you're not.
coach,
You're Dylan Rockford. You just brought the Panthers.
Yeah. And
Who
they
you
are
hiring?
they do need a coach.
That's who you hiring. You the owner of the Panthers. Who you hiring? I just told you I'm hiring Bill or Mike.
I don't think I'll be able to get Bill because he doesn't want to do that. I don't think I'll be able to get Pete. I don't think I'll be able
with the right check. You get anybody. They'll stop playing. You're a billionaire. You're the owner.
Yeah, but my situation isn't good in it. But
what you mean? We trade
Carolina.
CJ. I mean, trade Bryce. We're not playing.
I don't know. I honestly would keep him. I would keep Mike Tomlin if I had the opportunity. I'd go after Mike Tomlin or Mike Vrabel because I think those are guys that
you could have for like 10 years.
Yeah, I could have them. If I'm Pittsburgh, though, I think he stays. And going to your comment with Jim Harbaugh, I know he had that interview with the Los Angeles Chargers, but it looks like the AD for Michigan is really pushing for him to stay put. I know he wants to win a Super Bowl. He's gotten there, but I don't think he leaves Michigan because he's the GM. He's the AD. Like, he's the biggest person in Michigan. I don't think he'll have that in the NFL. So I don't know. I think Tomlin stays, though, if I'm being honest. I think he has a really good situation, or at least he stays for his contract for that one more year, and we'll see. And then let's go to the last game, Monday Night Football. I mean, we saw this coming. We saw this coming about a month or almost 2 months now. We've said Philadelphia's are easily a bottom 5 team in the NFL. Did I say Phillies or the Eagles?
I think you said Phillies.
I said Phillies. I was thinking of them. The same team. Eagles, last 2 months, they've been just the worst defensive team. Offensively, they've been bad. I don't even care if they would have won this game. I still think Nick Sirianni has to go. I mean, they're really missing Jonathan Gannon and Shakir, the offensive coach or the head coach for Indianapolis.
Yeah, I forgot his name too.
Yeah, but they're really missing him, offensive and defensive coordinator. Nick Sirianni, I just don't think is the answer right now. And Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, he played a hell of a game. We talked about him coming into this game hurt, but 22 for 36, over 330 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rashard Wright had a good game rushing the ball as well. Cade Otton, he really had a good game as well. Trey Palmer had that big 56-yard touchdown. And, you know, on defensive side of the ball, they look like they always do this last 2 months. They look soft. Bradbury's a fucking bum. They have no linebackers. No, he really is. He's bad.
I saw a thing. He allowed a perfect quarterback rating.
Yeah,
on him.
He's trash. They have no linebackers. The only really good thing they have is defensive line and offensive line. It looks like one of the best centers ever in Jason Kelsey. It looks like he's hanging them up. He has nothing to prove. The guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I think they have to shake it up too. I think they need Nick Sirianni needs to go as well. And I think they need, I like Jalen Hurts, but he has also regressed this season.
Yeah, Dale, with the Eagles, finishing the season basically 1-7. Still, it was just a bad ending. Jalen Hurts, overall, he played well, to be honest. He played well. The running game was kind of non-existent. Swift wasn't able to carry the ball well. Devontae Smith stepped up, even though A.J. Brown wasn't there. He had a huge game. But other than that,
that's the only person that showed up.
Yeah, Dallas Goedert was frustrated on the sideline. He had a couple of drops, couple of bad passes as well. So, but, at this end of the day, the storyline was that defense. Though that defense was a bottom 5 defense. I'm gonna say since Thanksgiving. Since Thanksgiving, this defense has been horrendous. And with the Eagles, though, real quick, I'll fire Sirianni and I'll go hire Bill Belichick right away. Because the problem is the defensive side of the football. Though Nick Sirianni moved, I forgot his name, but he moved the DC midseason to the booth, and then had Matt Patricia calling plays midseason. Didn't fire the guy, just demoted him to the booth and had Matt Patricia start calling plays. Right then and then, I knew right there was a problem. No disrespect
Shane
to
Steichen, thank you.
Yeah, no disrespect to Matt Patricia, but without Bill Belichick, dog, you are not it. You're not it. So the Eagles, they need to do something. Definitely fix the defensive side of the ball. Offensively though, they could keep AJ Brown. You got Devontae
He's
Smith. You got
gone, bro. He's gone.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you could find a way to keep him, you have him. You got Devontae Smith. You still got Jalen Hurts. You got a pretty good offensive line, even though Kelsey's hanging them up, though. And then defensive side of the ball, they have pieces. I'm not saying they, great. All I'm saying is Bill Belichick could turn it around in just within a year, could turn that defense right back to the top 10 defense with the pieces they already have. The offense, we know what the offense represents, though. When Jalen Hurts is healthy, he's a top 5, top 10 quarterback, though. It's just, they didn't look
He
good.
also played hurt most of the season, if I'm being honest.
He had the bad knee. He had cracked the finger, dislocated finger, Dill. And to be honest, we gotta give credit to Todd Bowles in that defense, Dill. They were fucking lighting him up, bringing pressure, snap after snap after snap. You got to give Todd Bowles credit. And Dill, they stopped the tush push at the goal line for 2, right there and there. So they stopped because Philly was on it. They just scored a touchdown. It was what I think. Yeah, it was 9-16.
Yeah, 16-9.
So they were right back in the game, and then they stopped the tush push. I said right there and there, this game is over. This game is over when they stopped the tush push. So I got to give credit to Todd Bowles for just coming up with a damn near perfect defensive game plan and shutting down the Eagles, because the Eagles offense hasn't been the issue as of late, though. It's the defense. The 32 points ain't shocking. Scoring 9 points, that's the shocking part.
And I also think the play calling, we talk about this being one of the ultimate collapses, like being 10-1, finishing 1-6 or whatever it is. The play calling is just atrocious. What's with all these bubble screens? It's not going to work. People caught on to it. That's another thing about making adjustments in Mike McCarthy. I don't think Nick Sirianni made one adjustment the whole season. It was the same plays that I saw against the Jets over 7-8 weeks ago that were being called Monday night. Why? That hasn't worked in 2 months. No adjustments. And yeah, I think they need to blow it up. I really think they miss Shane Steichen calling the plays. And I think Jalen Hurts, granted, he has played hurt most of the season, but he's regressed. I think Bill Belichick is a good call. I think he could fucking find some linebackers and DBs out there. And I think he could tweak the defense up and actually compete. But I don't know. You think they make that call? Or we'll see. We'll see if he even gets fired.
Exactly, dude. At the end of the day, Nick Sirianni is just a year removed from, not even a year removed from a Super Bowl. Say what you want, Dill. This team was, at the end of the day, were 10-1 at one point in the season. Best record in football at one point in the season. I understand the last 7 weeks went to shit, Dill. But at the end of the day, you got to look at the bright side of things. Could things could have been worse? Absolutely. Did the defense start getting riddled with injuries? Absolutely. Did Jalen Hurts play hurt? Yes. AJ Brown wasn't there playoff. Dallas Goedert missed 6-8 weeks. So, you got reasons why it kind of fell apart, Dill. But at the end of the day, your head coach supposed to, steer you above that and lead you towards the right direction. So, is it a fireable offense? Finish the season the way it did? Yes. But at the end of the day, Dill, Nick Sirianni has turned this team around. Did take them to a Super Bowl last year.
Do you think Nick Sirianni lost the locker room? You got all these guys coming out and saying, we know we're coming back and shit's not going to be the change. Players know something's going to happen. You can't end the season or start the season and end it and expect nothing to change. I expect change to happen. AJ Brown came out. He had problems. Fletcher Cox, Lane Johnson, multiple people have come out and said, we're expecting shit to change.
And those are all veterans. So ownership is definitely going to let Lane Johnson. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Fletcher Cox, he might be in the conversation as well. So, Dale, it's just, and then AJ Brown, he's unhappy as well. Took everything down his Instagram and Twitter. So, something definitely has to change, Dale. But at the end of the day, this team was just coming off success. If you're the front office, what do you really do? Do you listen to the players and just, change everything, or you give Nick Sirianni and the coaching staff another year to blend more?
I don't know. I think something has to change. I would get rid of a lot of people, but Very interesting to see what direction the Philadelphia Eagles move in. I'm happy for Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks. They played a really good game. Their defense stepped up at home, and now they go on the road and play the Detroit Lions. Should be a really good game. And honestly, they could have got 30 clipped. Mike Evans dropped a touchdown ball. Mike Evans have dropped a lot of balls this year.
He dropped 2 of them at that.
So game could have got a lot worse, but overall, it was an amazing weekend for your boy. 12-2. We hit David Njoku over. We hit the game going over. We laid it with Kansas City. Isaiah Pacheco, his over rush attempts. We hit on the under because of the weather. I tried to fade Romeo Doubs. That was not good. That was one of the laws. Tony Pollard, he got over his rush attempts. Rams plus the points get there. Demarcus Robinson, over longest reception, 19 yards. His one catch for 19 yards. Lose by the hook. But outside of that, Matthew Stafford, pass attempts over. Amon-Ra St. Brown, over 89 receiving yards. That hits. Jaron Warren, under rush attempts. That hits. Josh Allen, over rushing yards. And Tampa Bay plus 3. 12-2, up 8 units. Probably one of my best weekends of to date.
Damn, that sounds good. I ended up going 3-4. Not the best weekend, Dill. Like I said, Cooper Kupp went under. Browns money line didn't hit. I had a 2-way teaser with the Steelers, Cowboys, and then Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown didn't hit, and then Phillies Eagles money line didn't hit. But I hit CeeDee Lamb over receiving, Aaron Jones over rushing, and then Kansas City minus 4.5.
Now, if we look at the games, we got 2 games on Saturday. Both number 1 seed play on Saturday. We'll be at the Raven game in Baltimore Saturday right now. 9.5-point favorites. This is a rematch from week 1. Ravens won, I think it was like 26-9, something like that. But much different team. That was CJ Stroud's first game on the road. So we'll see. We got the Sunday night game. 49ers are 9.5-point favorites as well at home against Jordan Love. I think that's too many points if I'm being honest right now. Then Sunday, Detroit hosting Tampa Bay Bucks. Lions laying 6 at home. And then I think the game of the weekend, Sunday Night Football, Bills hosting the Chiefs. Bills are the favorites at home, minus 2.5. So we'll start with the first game. I know we'll have action on every game, but we'll be at the first game. You agree with the number 9.5?
Nah, Dill. Just coming off the performance we saw Houston play last Saturday, Dill, was just amazing. They're going to play flawless football on both sides of the ball. They're the fresh young team. Baltimore coming off a bye week. I'm not saying they're going to, have rust or anything. All I'm saying is Houston's ready for that smoke. That's all I'm saying. Baltimore can come out a little sluggish or something, start off slow, maybe punt first 2 possessions or something like that. And Houston, CJ Stroud's going to be firing in all cylinders. So if they jump out to a lead, I think they could possibly take control of the game. So I think personally 9.5 points is way too much just coming off what we saw this past weekend.
Yeah, I'm very interested. I don't think the Ravens or Lamar have a good ATS record when favored by 7 points. I think their one win is against Houston in week 1. So we will see. I don't think rust will be an issue for them. I think what the game's going to come down to is, can CJ Stroud make these explosive plays, these long passes on this Raven defense? I don't know. I think it's possible, but this defense is better than any defense that he's versed this season besides week 1. So it's going to be a challenge. Can that defense pull another big performance and contain Lamar? We know Mark Andrews is back. Today was his first day fully participant in practice, so he might be looking like a go. I don't know if they'll be able to contain Lamar, if I'm being honest. So
yeah, I don't know about containing Lamar, but possibly slow him down and make him, throw a couple balls out of bounds, possibly. But to slow down the MVP, I'm not sure if Houston could do that. But make him uncomfortable, make him, have to hit his second or third reads, second or third options, possibly, yes.
Now, the second game on Saturday night, 8:15, this is the number I don't agree with. I do think the Packers are actually not just – I think they cover the number. I think it's a good teaser spot. I think they're live. I think the way Jordan Love in this defense – if this defense and Jair Alexander gets a stop or 2 and Jordan Love goes down there and marches and gets points with the way Aaron Jones is running the ball. They didn't even have A.J. Dillon last week. He might come back and be a little healthy for them. I think this team is live. Jordan Love, the way he's playing, cool. He's not turning the ball over. The way Matt LaFleur is calling plays, I truly believe they're live in this game. I'm going to take the points, kid.
Dale, to be honest, I gotta agree with you. Like I said, you just coming off these recent performances, Houston and Green Bay, such dominating wins. Putting up 40+ points. Houston doing it at home, Green Bay doing it on the road. Dale, to be honest, nobody's. I'm not gonna say nobody, but not too many people expect the Green Bay to walk into Dallas and jump out to 27-0 dominating. Nobody's gonna expect that to happen against the 49ers too, though, and that's the dangerous part. The Green Bay Packers are so young, they don't know any better. They could go in there and be like, yeah, we're projected to lose by 9.5. Fuck it. We're gonna go out there and just do us. Still, and like you said, if that defense shows up and plays similar how any they did in the first half of that Dallas game, they're live.
Oh, yeah, they're alive big time. And I think their defense can play a little spoiler here on the road.
Because we saw it throughout the whole season long. Soon you turn Brock Purdy over one time, it's up.
Yeah.
They just got to turn him over one time, jump out to a lead. They could, the same thing that happened in Dallas could happen in San Francisco. Because we saw it multiple times this season.
The game on Sunday, the first game, Bucks Lions, that's the one game I'm having trouble, taking a look at. We'll have our official plays on Saturday.
To be honest, I'll say it now. I have one good lean. I'm gonna take it official right now before the number moves. Still, I just don't see both these quarterbacks having the performances they had on Wild Card Weekend. So, Dill, I'm gonna say it now before the number changes. Hop on if you feel like it, people. I'm taking the under 48.5 for the Tampa Detroit game. Dill, I just don't see. Think about it. Baker just came off a 3-touchdown, 330-yard game. He's not about to do that in Detroit in that crowd. No disrespect to Baker, but to have back-to-back games like that, especially the way he and that offense ended the season, I just don't see it happening. And to be honest, the way that defense of Tampa is playing, Dill, I expect them to at least turn the ball over or just make Jared Goff feel the pressure, make him uncomfortable throughout the game. I don't see the Detroit offense firing all cylinders like we saw against the Rams, especially in the first half.
We were right. We were both leaning the Bucks, or I took it officially, but I just have a hard time thinking they're suited up for this game. I think this is a good teaser spot. I think Detroit winds up showing dominance here at home. I think they actually beat up the Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, I've been on record saying Tampa Bay is a good team, and they do have a good defense, stopping running the ball. But passing the ball, they're susceptible to giving up the big pass. They're third worst in the league in giving up the deep ball as well. So I don't know about the total. I like the team total over 4. I was seeing it earlier. It's at like 29.5. I think Detroit could put up 30. I think Jared Goff could have a big game. I was looking at his passing yards. It's around 274. Could go up right now. It's only Wednesday. But and on the Tampa Bay side, props, I was looking at Mike Evans over 63.5, over 64 at some places. So Detroit, they still give up some big guy deep threats. Look at Puka Nacua. He had a huge game. One of the guys, Chris Godwin, maybe Cade Otton, one of them's gonna go off. So I think it might be Mike Evans. So that's kind of how I'd be playing the game. And I just think Tampa Bay, they just, they kind of ran into a much better team at this point, which is the Detroit Lions. And then the best game on the board, Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs on the road, 2.5-point underdogs, plus 120. Elvis, how do you expect Patrick Mahomes going to play in his first road game?
Like he always does, Dill. Like an MVP, like the best quarterback in football, Dill. To be honest, he looked pretty damn amazing last week, Dill, under the conditions. And I expect similar conditions in Buffalo than what we saw in Kansas City this past weekend, Dill. So, Dill, long as nobody's really dropping the ball, Isaiah Pacheco is going to run the ball well. Patty don't turn the ball over, and that defense, called by Steve Spagnuolo's, Dill. I just feel like Kansas City could possibly take care of business on the road. I love to see it. I think it's going to be the great game. Glad that it's the last game on the schedule, Dill. But I just have a feeling, Kansas City, they're just built for this. They're just built for this task. I just want to see if they're capable to do it on the road, because that's something Patty Mahomes and Andy Reid has never done, is win a road playoff game. Well, this is their first shot at it, too, by the way. So not saying they're losing them either.
I wish I got the opening line of 3. I would have taken the 3 immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still leaning Kansas City, if I'm being honest. I think they kind of found something last week in bad conditions. It's going to be cold in Buffalo.
To be honest, it might be better conditions in Buffalo. Yeah. If you play in 25 degrees, that's 25 degrees warmer than when you were this past weekend.
I like Isaiah Pacheco to have another big game, over 14.5 rush attempts. He's gone over this last 6 to 7 games. And, they have no real choice. Besides Rashid Rice and Travis Kelce, they're going to run the ball. Andy Reid's made it a point. They are going to run the ball. Buffalo Bills, even though they won, they lost another linebacker. They're thin. They're getting very thin on defensive side of the ball for Buffalo. So even Patrick Mahomes, I was looking at his rushing yards, 24.5. I think, Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs always seems to be faster than everyone else. Yeah. He just seems to get by the linebackers or the defensive ends. So I was looking at him. I think that could be Josh Allen anytime touchdown plus 100. I mean, Josh Allen's going to get in there too. So I was looking at those. Maybe Josh Allen to throw a pick. He's good for 1 pick, but on a Wednesday, kid, I am leaning Kansas City, if I'm being honest.
Still, to be honest, I'm right now, I'm there as well. I'm not sure where I'm going to be officially come game time, Dill. Hopefully the line movement opens back up to 3, personally, Dill. But as of right now, I think I'm going Kansas City money line. As of right now.
Yeah, I took a 2-way teaser. I took, like I said, to get Detroit down to 0. It's an even. They just need to win, and then you put Kansas City up to plus 8.5, minus 110. I think it's a good 2-way teaser. It looks good. Don't know if it'll hit, but I just wanted to preview and look at the games for this weekend. Our official plays will be on Saturday, but anything else that I missed or you want to cover over the weekend that happened?
Draymond Green came back. Glad to see.
Oh no, NFL.
That's all, really. Oh, real quick, my boy Jimmy Johnson was pissed off at halftime. He gave a speech of a lifetime.
You can do it.
You can do it. Yo, I swear to God, boy, my man Jimmy Johnson. Jerry needs to hire Jimmy Johnson. He got 1 more year left in him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, Jimmy Johnson was pissed off at halftime. It's a damn shame that he witnessed that.
He said it was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
It was.
You can win this thing. He was dead ass, bro.
It went viral. I'm so happy we saw it. He even got Michael Strahan ready to run through a wall.
When we saw it live, we was like, yo, we can run it back, because we got to watch it again.
Jimmy Johnson is. They need
a
to
legend.
protect him.
Hall of Famer.
They need to protect him at all costs. I love Jimmy Johnson. But all right, kid. Before we get to the NBA, quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We favor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry Saturday afternoon tailgating at the bank, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, before we get to it, we had a big trade today. The Raptors traded their star, Pascal Siakam, to the Pacers for Bruce Brown. They got a guy named Kiara Lewis, Jordan Noir, two 2024 first-round picks, and a 2026 first-round pick. Tell me why this is the worst trade ever.
It's not the worst trade ever, Dill, but, in my personal opinion, Dill, it improved the Pacers. Does it make them championship contenders? Absolutely not. But does it bring you an extra edge? Does it bring you another, big time, not big time, but another all-star caliber player that could, give you 15 to 25 a night? Yes, it does, Dill. Does it give you another weapon with Halliburton? Yes, it does, Dill. Now you got Halliburton. You got Pascal. You got Evan Turner. I mean, not Evan Turner. Miles Turner. Shout out Evan Turner, by the way. I like it personally, Dill. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't move the needle for me, but to the Indiana Pacers improve today? Absolutely. It's kind of like the Knicks Obi trade, Dill. Did you love it at first? Absolutely not. But did y'all not improve from it? Absolutely. So don't get me wrong, not the best trade, not the sexiest trade in the world, not a viral trade, but guarantee the Pacers probably added another round to
but
the playoff.
the difference is we're gonna sign OG. I don't think they're gonna be able to sign him for what he wants. You got rid of 3 first-rounders and Bruce Brown for an expiring contract. Toronto fleeced them. Honestly.
We say that now, but if they could lock in Pascal for let's just say like a 5-year, 150, 180, 30 million a year, you never know. At the end of the day, he might want to build something with Halliburton. Like, hey, we're both young. A couple 3 to 5 years. Hey, we could probably run the East. Who knows? All I'm saying is they could possibly have. That was probably a sell pitch. Still, who knows? All I'm saying is Halliburton, arguably one of the best point guards in the NBA, especially in the Eastern Conference right now. You give him an all-star caliber player, Siakam. You got Miles Turner there. Still, all I'm saying is you added a piece to the puzzle. You might get another piece come trade deadline. I'm not sure if that will make you championship contenders still, but it makes you better.
Elvis, it's a bad trade in my opinion, regardless. And even one of the worst scenarios in history that I've even seen. This is awful. And even if it turns into the worst trade I've ever seen, especially if he walks. If he doesn't sign with them, they're idiots. They're stupid for doing this, because what are you really going to do? Yeah, you might get into the playoffs. Oh, you might upset a series. Then what? For an expiring contract and then he walks? Like, you got to think of these things. Like, if you have contacts with his agent and you're going to sign him to this long, big deal, okay, I guess it's worth it. You got your guy, but you don't know that. This is an expiring contract. 3 first-rounders is insane. For Pascal Siakam?
Still,
that's crazy to me, kid.
Rudy Gobert went for 5.
But Rudy Gobert is the top defender in the league. Pascal Siakam is top nothing. No disrespect. He's a good player. He's not Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert's he's on first team all defense. He is not.
I understand that, but that's why he only gave up 3, Dill. He's a solid all-star caliber player, Dill. To be honest,
barely.
He is an all-star. He is an all-star. Was he not an all-star? Yes or no? Doesn't he have championship experience? Yes or no?
Because of Kawhi?
It don't matter. He was there. He was still giving you buckets every night.
He wasn't giving me buckets. Kawhi was giving me buckets.
Kawhi was giving people buckets, but my man Pascal did his thing. A young Pascal did his thing. All I'm saying is,
and Kyle Lowry,
and my boy Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol. They're a solid deep team. But still, at the end of the day, the Pacers did improve, in my opinion. Not the sexiest trade deal, but they did get better overall. If it's just for the one season, I'm kind of leaning towards you. Horrible trade. But if they're able to get a reasonable deal done and have these two together for a couple of years, then I think it works out.
All right, let's get to it. We saw the Detroit Pistons snap their 7 or 8 game losing streak. Alex Burke off the bench dropped a 30 burger. They wind up winning. Their at home gets the Timberwolves, one of the best teams. But we got 10 games on the slate. Take it away, kid. What are your plays?
Dill, let's start it off, Dill. First play of the day is Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dill, Bucks lane. Oh, lines flipped. What? Hold on, chill. Let me check the lines real quick. Let's check. Oh, Giannis is out. Giannis is ruled out just about an hour ago, Dill. It's still at a pick 'em. I took the Bucks -4 earlier. You know what, Dill? Give me the Bucks on the money line, Dill, on the road. You still got Dame Dodd. You still got Chris Middleton. You still got Defensive Player of the Year caliber and Brook Lopez. He going to make a couple of threes, send a couple of block shots. I still think Milwaukee has the talent to take care of business. of the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road. Give me the Milwaukee Bucks minus 108 on the money line. I had the -4 earlier. I'm going to stick with it, my guns. Give me the Milwaukee Bucks minus 108 on the money line. Next game up, Miami Heat taking on Pascal Siakam, list Toronto Raptors. Still, Miami Heat laying 3 on the road, over under sitting at 226. Still, I took Miami minus 2.5 earlier on the day. I guess the news made it go up a half a point. I still lay the 3 Miami. If you want to, lay the minus 154 on the money line. I think they take care of business on the road. Still, San Antonio Spurs taking on the Boston Celtics. Still, I'm taking a player prop in this one, Dill. For some reason, my boy Porzingis last 3-4 games haven't went over this rebound prop. He's been going under 7.5, 4 to 5 games now, and I don't expect him to go over this number against a young Pesca team. I expect Wemby to get a ton of rebounds, and to be honest, I just feel like Porzingis' motor ain't heavy enough to fight for those rebounds. So give me under 7.5 rebounds at minus 125. It's juicy for a reason. Next game, Orlando Magic take on the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. Give me the Magic plus 4.5 on the road. To be honest, it's just completely the better team. Now we're hearing trade talks about Trae Young possibly going to San Antonio or something like that. So it's looking like pretty soon Atlanta's just going to blow it up. They're not a good team anyway. And then my last play of the night, marquee matchup, I'm going to definitely try to have my eyes in tune, Dill. Dallas Mavericks taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Give me the Dallas Mavericks on the road plus 4. The over-under is pretty high, so 243.5. It's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. I'm not sure if I'm going to touch the side, but Dallas, I think they either keep it close. If not, they win outright, Dill. To be honest, I think we got to go Kyrie Irving over 27.5. Those last 5-game stretch, he's been averaging 30-plus points a game. And Dill, we know he wanted to secretly sign with the Los Angeles Lakers in the offseason. Didn't happen by any chance. I think he goes out there and gives them 30.
All right. I was leaning with the Bucks, but I'm going to tail off of that since Giannis is out. I got 3 player props. Give me Trae Young. Over 2.5 rebounds. He's been over this 5 of his last 6 games versus the Magic. He got 4+ rebounds in both of the games this season against the Magic. Over 2.5 rebounds, minus 135. We'll go to the Houston matchup. Alpern Sengun, center, going to go under 26.5 points and assists. And, he's going up against the Knicks. And ever since Isaiah Hartenstein took over at center, Mitchell Robinson dealing with an injury, opposing centers have had trouble against the Knicks. Knicks allowing 3rd fewest points and assists since the change at center and the lowest field goal percentage against opposing centers. So Sengun, he's gone under this number 5 of his last 7 games. This is the end of the long road trip for the Rockets. They just want to get home. I'm going to fade him tonight. Give me the under 26.5 points and assists. And then I'm going to end it with Jonas Valanciunas over 22.5 points and rebounds, minus 115. He's been over this number in 12 of his last 18 games. He's going up against Charlotte Hornets, who they are just terrible against centers. They allow the most points versus centers and the second most rebounds against centers. I think the Hornets, being without one of their big guys, Mark Williams, is killing them inside. So I think Jonas Valanciunas has a really big game. I think he gets over this number quick, and he better, because I think this might be a blowout. So give me Jonas Valanciunas over 22.5 points and rebounds. Anything else before we get up out of here, kid? Good show.
I like that one, though, just because Valanciunas is always live to get double-digit rebounds. It wouldn't shock me if he gets 14 rebounds, 10 points, go over right there.
Yeah, exactly. We need that right before half. But Elvis, thank you so much. I will see you in Maryland. Can't wait. Gonna be a
Baltimore.
Divisional round of the playoffs is upon us, guys. And that is going to do it for this Wednesday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, we'll see you guys on Saturday live at the Bank, Baltimore, Maryland, to preview and take a look at the divisional round of the NFL. We'll have plays and picks for every game, NBA plays as well for the weekend. So make sure you guys follow along our social media, X and Instagram at the Dream Wager. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to your podcast. We go live on YouTube every Wednesday and Saturday morning. Hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review, leave in the comments who you will be betting on this weekend. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.